Is harp hard to learn? Well, I'd say yes and no, and we're going to get into the details in this video. I'm Christy Lynn from Learning the Harp, where we make playing the harp feel simple and doable. So if that sounds good to you, then make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications because we're putting up new videos every week and I'd love to see you back. So I'm going to start out by getting into why I think harp is not hard to learn, and then after that we're going to look into why it kind of also is hard, takes some effort. But the reason I think it's actually not that hard to learn is because harp sounds beautiful from the first note. You just pluck a string and it sounds lovely right away. There's some instruments where you sound absolutely terrible for months and months and months before you even start to sound like anything you were dreaming of. But with the harp, even when you come to it with no musical background, no experience in playing any kind of instrument, you're an older learner, you have no technique, it's still going to sound pretty right from the beginning. And that means that it's really motivating to practice. It sounds beautiful, it's relaxing, you have a lot of fun, and it kind of becomes addictive. But having said that, I think that anything worth doing well really does require some good solid effort and hard work. So if you're just having fun playing around with your harp and you never learn any kind of good harp technique, you will come to a point where you can't really progress any further. And what concerns me is that sometimes people think that they've just reached their potential, that they don't have the potential to be a good harp player. But in actual fact, it's just that they've reached the cap of what they can do with their current level of technique because they don't have a good technical foundation. The thing about harp technique is that it's counterintuitive. It's kind of opposite to what you would naturally want to do if you don't receive any instruction. So it takes conscious effort to learn good harp technique. Here's a little demo of how you might naturally play the harp and then how you might get a little bit of trouble along the way. So we would naturally approach the harp strings with our fingers up and then pluck away from the strings like this. Because that's kind of closer to how we would normally use our hand in everyday life. We use our hand like this. And then you would think that you'd pull your fingers away from the harp strings. The problem is then, as you get more advanced and you want to be able to play passages with more than 4 notes in a row, now I want to go to the G, I want to play the next note. Where do I put my finger to join that? I can't really, and then I have to, so I end up having to just jump from the one to the other. But if I play it with good harp technique, which is when you have your thumb up and fingers down, it feels so much more relaxed. I don't have that tension on the back of my hand, and the sound is so much fuller. But then also it allows me to be able to continue and play more notes afterwards, because now I can put my next finger down and continue going up the harp. Compared to, I can try playing it louder, but it just doesn't have that same good sound. And you can see how I wouldn't be able to play fast like that because I'd keep on having to jump and put my hand down again. So you can see that although learning with good technique will require more effort and make harp a little harder to play, it definitely will be worth it in the long run. So I'd say that if you like the sound of the harp, then it's a wonderful choice to learn even if you have no musical background and you're learning as an adult. And the great news is that you can actually teach yourself with helpful resources online. So if you're interested in how you might learn to play the harp from the start, I want to help you with that. So click over here and let's get started.